Well, welcome to a beautiful day by the River Trent again, and in the distance you can see Nottingham Forest Football Stadium. And this is a place where I've been to over several years to look at the developing biocrusts on the stone and sandy areas by the side of the river. And it's different this year. We're in March, the middle of March. The last couple of years I've been here, there's been a drought, or a significant drought, before the time that I've come. A drought over winter, really, but this year is different. It's been wet over the almost whole of the winter, raining every day. So I'm assuming that the structure of the biocrusts may have changed here. It's not been cold, but it has been wet. So what I'm going to do is have a look at some of the mosses growing here and see if they've changed at all. Over the past, I've said that I think the Syntrichia caninervis growing here, and I just wonder if it's mosses matching that description are still here. I've just had a brief look, and I think they may well still be here. But let's have a look at the mosses a bit more closely. There isn't anything else in flower here, unfortunately. I was expecting that there might be, but there's nothing other than the usual daisies or Bellis perennis. And you can see here this incredible bright green mat of colour here. And this is not, I believe, Syntrichia caninervis. I don't think it's samples of that moss that are growing here on these stones. I think they may well be Didymodons, plants that I've given a lot of attention to over the last few months because they're so difficult to identify. Let's see if we can have a look at one a bit more closely. The phone, or the camera that I'm using this time, is a Google Pixel 9. It's a new one, so I'm hoping that the quality of my images and videos will be a lot better than they were before. We'll see, won't we? Now I've taken a bit of the moss that's growing here and perched on top of a metal pipe so I can film it more easily. But I'm going to go close in, see how close we can get it. Yep, that's not a Syntrichia. It's definitely not a Syntrichia. And that's about the biggest magnification we get. I think that this is a Didymodon. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'll look it up. But it's definitely not a Syntrichia, this one. Now this is one that's actually growing in the metal pipework, and you can see a mouse-ear chickweed there, but the moss is growing in there. It's a Didymodon for sure. It looks a bit like rigidulus, but it's in the wrong place for this plant to grow, and I'll have to go and look it up when I get back. But very interesting mosses growing here. And as you can see, these mosses are growing on bare soil. They're not growing on the rock, which definitely sort of puts them out as not being Syntrichias, really. Yeah. More Didymodons. Now I've got back to the rocky area. There's no grass, no soil here. And here we've got these cushion mosses growing. And if you take a look at these, you can see that they've caught a lot of soil. They're not green. These are typical screw mosses, and indeed could be Syntrichia caninervis, or at least a close relation of that plant, and similar to plants that I have in cultivation at home. And there's quite a few of these here. There's another one. The capture of soil around the plants is almost identical to the desert moss Syntrichia caninervis, or steppe screw moss. And there are some quite big patches of it up here, look. But these are slightly more hydrated. Here are some other mosses growing on the concrete path here, and you've definitely got some Bryum argentium here. That's the one with the silvery leaves. You can see the silvery shoots there of Bryum argentium very clearly. And this is a plant that is extremely common, is also being considered for the possibility of growing on Mars. And there's a lot of that here in its typical form with silvery shoots. And there are other mosses here too as well. That's Bryum capillare, I think, not dichotomum. It's got the typical red seta, and you'd be expecting that to be growing here, as well as the Bryum argentium moss.